G'day guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Tim, and on today's episode, we're looking at the dip of death. This is part of our two-part series. In the last episode, we looked at the golden cross of death. Today is the dip of death. Have we finished dipping, or is there more dipping to go? So that's what we're going to take a look at. We're going to take a look at these moving averages, and we're also going to ask the question whether this is just China FUD, or whether the charts have been indicating this may happen for some time. Okay, now let's have a look at these moving averages. Now these are the particular ones that I think are the most important based on what Bitcoin has done over the last year and what it's also done over the past decade. So we're looking here at the 20-day in red, the 50-day in orange, and the 100-day in purple. And we have noticed before that when we do close below one, we do tend to test the next one below. You can see that we went below the 20, we test the 50, we go below the 50, we test the 100, and we tend to close, not just wick. You can see these are all closes. And right now, we have closed below the 20 and 50 quite significantly. Now, I was thinking around here, and I'll zoom in a little bit. When we closed here, I was thinking, okay, there's potential we may close now around the 100. We may have a further dip. But what happened instead is the price went up a little bit, but now we are back down to those kind of levels. And we have wicked past the 100-day moving average right here, but we haven't closed yet. And in the past hour or so, the price has gone up a little bit. However, I still think there is still further downside to come, and we should at least close somewhere in this 40K range around the 100-day moving average. Not financial advice, but based on what's happened in past history, when we close below 1 MA, we do tend to close eventually at the next one down. Now, this 100-day moving average also lines up with the 20-week moving average, as we can see here. So the 100-day and the 20-week are in very similar spots around this 40K region. The probability of closing, whether we close today or whether we close tomorrow or the next day, the probability of closing at this point is very high. Now, what is scary about closing near this 40K region right here at the 20-week or 100-day moving average is we can see this orange line. Now, this orange line is the 50-week moving average. Now, this is very, very critical, and I'll show you why. So here I've got side by side the 2013, 2014, 2017, 2018, and 2021 cycles showing when we bounce off the 50-week moving average. And you can see on every occasion, we turn around and we crash right through it, and we bottom out lower than where we started. It happened here and here, happened here and here, and so far we're playing out the same pattern again in 2021. And to demonstrate that point further, I've got a Bitcoin weekly chart here. Now, again, the pink line, the pink shaded area is the 50-week moving average, and this red line here is the 200-week moving average, which typically shows us the bottom of Bitcoin, and it shows us when we reset between cycles. Now you can see that when we bounce off the 50-week moving average, we crash through and we end up bottoming and testing the 200-week moving average, completely bottoming out and resetting the cycle. It happened here, it happened here, it happened here even again in 2019, 2020. We bottomed out and we reset at the 200-week moving average. And right now we've bounced off and we've come back down, heading towards the 50-week moving average. Now, if this happens again, and if we follow the same pattern that what happened in the past, eventually, and this may happen over many, many months, maybe well into 2022, but we're likely to go and test the 200-week moving average, which at the moment is around 15.5K. Now, one of the questions that keeps coming up is whether this is just China FUD and whether we'll recover and move away from this. Well, that might be the case, but if you look at this is a monthly chart here of Bitcoin showing the last 4 years. So this is April 2017 right here. There's the peak we had in 2017 going into the bear market of 2018. There's the peak we had for 2019 going into the mini bear market of 2020. And then here's the massive peak that we've just had for 2021. Now, On a monthly time scale, you can see that it's quite normal to have months going green and months going red. Looking at this at a glance, there's nothing out of the ordinary with what just happened. While the crash is occurring, it's very scary and we think, okay, what is going on? But when you look at it in a larger context, it's quite normal to have a month that's all green followed by a month that's all red. So you can see here, you can see here, you can see here. You can see examples down here, examples here. And over the last year and a half, we've mostly had bullish momentum. We had a massive bull run up here. We had about 3 months right here of red. And then we've had another couple of months of green. So for the most part, we've just been in a bull run this entire year and a half. In fact, over the past 12 months, 8 out of the last 12 months have been green months. Okay, so where is Bitcoin headed from this point forward? Now, the short answer is nobody knows. There are some people that have conviction that Bitcoin will reach all-time highs by the end of 2021 or sometime in 2022. Now, that's entirely possible. There are other people that have conviction that we're headed towards an extended bear market, just like what has happened in every other cycle. But right now, what I'm personally focused on are these moving averages. And again, when we go below one, we tend to test the next one. And if we test the 100-day moving average right here, which is the same as the 20-week at around 40K, we're very, very close to touching the 50-week moving average. And as we saw on this diagram here, whenever we go below the 50-week moving average, we have never recovered until we've tested the 200-week moving average at the bottom and we've reset for the next cycle. So finally, is it wise to be buying the dip right now, or are we going to go lower? So again, this is not financial advice. I don't know what will happen next. However, these are the particular targets that I'm looking at. So there's a moving average right here at 40K. There's another moving average right here at about 38K. Now, if we drop below that, as I said before, we've never recovered until we've bottomed out completely at the 200-week moving average. Now, you can see here this yellow line that's looming. This here is the 100-week moving average, and it is currently at about $23,500. And it's also coming up towards this descending trend line that we did follow between that May to July period. Okay, anyway, that's all for today's episode. We'll have to keep an eye on all these moving averages and just see exactly what happens. One of my subscribers, Amante, made a comment saying it's all around seeing the forest from the trees. So zooming out and looking at the weekly timeframes will really give us some context about where we're going. So anyway, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Twitter at TechnicalTimCR1. Don't forget to subscribe, like the channel. And until next time, I'm Tim, and cheers.